It's what we do on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. That's what matters in our lives. That's what will influence us in our lives. So I hear a lot of people talk about like affirmations are useless. I tried them for a few days and they didn't work. Well, listen, if you are talking in your own head about how awful you are on a daily basis, many times, maybe 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times a day, if every time you stub your toe or every time anything happens you say, oh, I'm so stupid, and then once a day you repeat some affirmation of like, I'm a great human being that's going to add value to this world. Well, listen, think about a teeter-totter or a set of scales. Whatever's heaviest will go to the bottom. That's what has weight in your mind, in your life. This is true of everything. So this is true of language acquisition. Whatever language you're practicing consistently, that's what you're going to get good at. So, I mean, don't go to a language class once a week and then don't do anything else in the rest of the week. That's not going to do anything. Well, it will do something for you. Very, very little, okay? If you spent 2 hours at a language class once every week versus 10 minutes a day for 7 days a week, guess what? The latter option is going to give you better language. Unless you have a didactic memory or something like that, okay? So for almost every person, you need to do things on a consistent basis. So what does this mean? Diet, sleep, exercise. Those are the 3 pillars, right? But even after that, what are you thinking about? What are you studying? What are you focusing on? What are you learning or growing in? Are you becoming better at your business? Are you becoming better in your relationships? Are you becoming... Listen, flowers once a week for your loved one is not going to make the biggest difference in the world. It's not. I can promise you that right now. What's going to make a better and bigger difference is kindness shown on a daily basis, appreciation shown on a daily basis. I talked about the 5 love languages. Like practice that one on a daily basis. That will make a biggest difference. Again, what about sports? Think about athletes. Athletes are a great example of this. They're athletes that are known as clutch athletes. Athletes that you can depend on when the moment's crazy to come in strong. Michael Jordan was known for this. Tom Brady is known for this. There are certain hockey players known for this. But listen, in those situations, what you want to do, what is happening in those situations is somebody has been practicing behind the scenes. For days and weeks and months and years and decades, they've been practicing this skill. Shooting into the top corner, whatever it is, whatever the skill is. And because it's so programmed deep in their subconscious mind, when they're in a stressful situation, they can simply do it, okay? They don't need to think a lot about it. It comes out of them. Anyone who's been an athlete or played sports has heard the phrase, what you do in practice, you'll do in the game. That's true. What we do on a consistent basis is going to come out. If you complain about everyone underneath in your mind, guess what's going to come out? You're going to complain about people, even if you don't want to. That's what's going to happen, okay? Whatever you do consistently is going to come out. So here's the action step for today. What I want you to do is think about a habit that you want to change. Think about a way of thinking that you want to change, a certain behavior that you want to change. And what I'm going to ask you to do is really focus on it. Focus all of your energy for a period of time on a daily basis for that. So many people, I've got many different types of clients, but 2 main types of clients I have are people who do what I tell them to do consistently. They don't question it, they simply do it. And people who don't do what I tell them to do, okay? The people who simply don't question and simply do whatever I suggest doing consistently come back to me and go, Mark, this is fantastic. I'm learning and growing so much. The people who don't often complain about my coaching and say, well, Mark, I haven't gotten everything that I needed out of this coaching. I said, well, what have you done? What have you done? If you're not willing to do something, you can't complain about what's going on, okay? So start doing this on a daily basis. Again, a few minutes a day is better than lots. There's this great website called I don't know if it's a website called Tiny Habits. Google Tiny Habits. This researcher from a university who studied habits and how to incorporate habits in your life. And what he says is you want to anchor these habits to other things that you're already doing in your life. So if you want to practice something 3 times a day, if that's the routine that you want, well, guess what? tie it to brushing your teeth morning, afternoon, and evening. Or if you want to do, or eating, when you eat food, if you want to do something, I don't know, 8 times a day, then do it every time you go to the washroom. Do 5 push-ups or whatever it is, okay? When you anchor things that you want to incorporate into your life to things that are already there, it makes a big difference, and that will create the consistency. Everyone who is successful in any field or subfield on this planet, whether they're in business or not in business, whether they're an employee, regardless of what's going on, people who are successful are consistent. They consistently do something. Pay attention to those people who are successful. Again, athletes are a great realm for this, because there are people who have great physical attributes, are fantastic athletic specimens, and yet don't do very well or have a short career. There are other people who you're like, what are they doing? Wayne Gretzky is a good example of this, okay? Wayne Gretzky was this scrawny guy, wasn't super fast, wasn't like, look at him, follow his career, and you'll find that he wasn't this great physical specimen. Was he better than the average? Sure, I'm sure he was better than the average, but he wasn't this brilliant athlete when it came to his body. He was a brilliant athlete when it came to his mind. He thought the game well, and he practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and put his effort into every single play. He was focused on every single play. And you know what? He became the greatest hockey player that ever lived. So again, put these things in practice. Study some people that are successful in your life, and you'll figure it out, okay? If you have questions, you can ask me.